But a time came when I did something with a governor in Lagos State. Did I mention? Please edit that part. Edit that. His Excellency did as if he didn't know me anymore. We ate fufu together at Ogbono, NNPC Tower, on Friday. On Sunday, his plane crashed. A part of me crashed with that Kenny. My wife was going to die. And you are telling people that God is the one punishing her.
As in a pastor, an associate pastor,
not
pastor? The pastor of your pastor, your church.
That adopted. She was ill. It was a life-threatening ailment. She was going to die. She was going to, if we hadn't left Nigeria, she would have died for free. I would get back home and go touch her nostrils to see if she was still breathing. Sometimes you go to church, what they say to you on the altar, if you are not careful, you go back and you are suicidal. And I'm not joking. So why would you want to use prophecy to pursue me for my job? So I avoided him and all of that, So Jesus told him that Jesus fasts twice a week and pays tithes monthly. If not that I know and I've experienced Jesus, experienced the existence of God by myself, I would have stopped Christianity. But when it comes to the time for you to pay rent, to pay bills, to pay all those things, grace does not cover it in America. Grace does not. If you like, become an angel and go and look your landlady, your landlord in the eyes, you will pay. How I survived it, I don't know.
With all humility, there are very few people who can call themselves either my contemporaries or my brosses, brosses being the Nigerian expression for people you met in the industry. So I do have brosses, but relatively speaking in comedy, there are not a lot of them. And I have very few contemporaries whom we started about the same time. I might have started a bit before them, but they were about in the same set. My guest today is one of them. In fact, he coming right behind us, and when I say behind us, it was me and a couple of guys who came out about the same time. He coming right behind us decided to carve a niche for himself. And it's almost certain that if you're performed in church or if you're performing in church, it was this guy who paved the way. He formed a niche, or he carved a niche called gospel comedy in Nigeria, and he made a lot of money. In fact, last I checked, he was still making a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, poof, he disappeared apparently to the United States, and his eyes saw Pepe. Shaggy. I cough. I've been looking forward to talking to him. On this one, I speak to the very, very talented. He's literally one of the funniest people that I know. Genuinely funny, comes from the stomach. He was the first comedian to perform on the first episode of the Teju Babyface show. That episode where we had the First Lady of Lagos and all of that. He was this guy. On this one, I speak to Holy Mallam. This is the deep dive. My brother. Let me drink water. I've never drank water in the beginning, but let me
to drink water.
Was that we've had a long day. Yes. We're in LA. We came out for Bamidele's show. Came out for Bamidele's show
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we've had a great time. And right. So we said, look, let's just do this. While we are here. Anyhow, when it go be, we have to run this, because you've been telling me these stories and I'm amazed at and by what you've been through. For example, the last time I remember seeing you was, let me let you guess. When was the last time you think we saw in Nigeria before you left?
Could it be at I can't remember.
Okay, I'll tell you. It was a Sunday morning. You had just bought this Toyota Camry. It was white.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then you brought it to Daystar so that Pastor Sam could see it and all of that. And it was nice, and you were doing well. So that was you doing well. Earning money, doing the biggest parties.
I love cars. White cars.
Yes. And suddenly So that's the first obvious question. Why would you leave Nigeria?
Well, I didn't really plan to leave Nigeria. I was going to relocate my family. I was going to relocate my family.
That's always the trap. Something always. Continue.
So because my wife, to start with, never dreamt of living abroad. By God's grace, we were doing well. And for me, someone told me one time, he said, I see you relocating abroad. I avoided him for like 2 weeks because what did I do? What did I do you? Why should you give me such prophecy for what? But in Nigeria, I started with 500 naira. My first when I started comedy commercially, I was paid 500 naira. And then by the time he was telling me this, God had helped us. Sometimes we're making up to 6 million in a month. So why would you want to use prophecy to pursue me for my job? So I avoided him and all of that, so, but years after, we also got confirmation. Someone didn't just take Madam out. Where Madam goes, the children go. And because of my strong ties in Nigeria, as they would ask you at the American embassy, I didn't want to leave because not only did I do comedy, I had to make myself if time permits us, we'll delve into that, how I became a professional master of ceremonies. I also became a certified life coach, a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, NLP practitioner. I did Ericksonian hypnosis. I was privileged to meet these people, Mr. Ayo Arowolo and the likes. I don't want to do name dropping here, but I met all these people. Then I met my mentors, different mentors. There were 8 of them. I went there and I changed. From being an MC, a comedian, I also went into business. I did other businesses. So I had no business leaving Nigeria. Do you understand? But reluctantly, I moved my wife. Then I think we'll get to that later. It pays off. I mean, I'm looking, was it easy? No. I mean, I was living like a king in Nigeria. We had a big house in Omole Phase 1. We had people taking care of the children, taking care of the house. I had managers. I was spoiled. I wasn't born like that. So you know my story. Mm-hmm. I was born without, people say the silver spoon, golden spoon, wooden spoon. Me, our spoon was missing. So I was spoonless when I started. Not that my dad was poor. The man was doing well, was an insurance broker, but Bukata Akpoju. And okay, that's vernacular. The mouths that were chopping the money were
too many responsibilities.
Too many women.
Women. It was women.
Women.
Okay, it was women.
Mother was the wife. Others were,
Others were cast members.
They came to do cameo with my father. So God helped me, and I felt financially I was stable, and I started traveling everywhere, and my life changed. So why should I leave? But eventually and reluctantly, I moved to my wife and my children. That was 9 years ago. So I was shuttling Dallas. We moved to Dallas at the time, when we were neighbors back there. I was doing Lagos, Dallas, Lagos, Dallas, but I brought them here, and I don't know if you asked that question later, but eventually the move made sense.
I don't understand.
My wife would, she was ill. It was a life-threatening ailment. She was going to die. She was going to, if we hadn't left Nigeria, she would have died for free. Because her friend had stage 2, she had stage 3. Her friend who had stage 2 in Nigeria died last year. And overheard her saying, I remember vividly on that day we were going to do our green cards, biometrics and all of that. I could hear it was on speaker. Her friend, was she was saying, come here. There's treatment for this thing here. My wife was treated for 9 months. 9 months. I would get back home and go touch her nostrils to see if she was still breathing. So bringing her here made a lot of sense. At the end of the day, it was about 250,000, $250,000 was the hospital bill. By God's grace, we have cleared it. I've cleared it. If people don't ask they won't. If you don't speak, rather, people won't know what you've gone through. I believe everybody goes through stuff, but it happened. We survived it. She was treated for close to a year. I remember. So I was a cook. I'm the father of the house, the head of, and I have 3 children. One was playing basketball, the other one was playing guinea, and the third one, and they had 3 different schools at the time. So I was saddled with responsibilities I couldn't give to any other person because there was no other Ojuolomo Tony. That's what's like, meaning that you're on your own, no family, nothing. I think that was when my true character was tested. There are things that happen in life you can never prepare for. You only know they are in existence when they happen to you. From a distance, we had heard about people who had this, who went through this, but when mine came, I had to embrace the reality. And that was what it was, and I thank God for the day that I was told to bring her here. Now, why I wasn't given the full details of what would happen and all of that, that's a question for another day. But I'm grateful to God that I brought her here. When she was going through that, it's part of why we left our people, went to hide in the midst of Oyibo people. They were genuine. Because I remember that when my wife was sick, some people were saying, she spoke at church. That's why. Church member, church. Asked the pastor. She said, she spoke. That was why. So God is the one punishing her. I'm telling you. But we thank God. She survived it. And we did not ask anybody for 1 cent or dollar. $250,000. How God did it for. We had insurance, but insurance is not a wolf now. They won't pay everything. But we give God all the glory. We're alive, and if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, don't you think?
Okay. There are some responses to one question that threw up about 7 other questions in their week, at the very least.
Right.
This is one of those responses because so let's take it from the nearest point.
Right.
So church is usually for us, for most people who are coming from where we're coming. When you come into America, you're thinking, let me go to church. You've heard these stories.
Yeah.
Church helps people, especially those who are known to have even been part of the church in Nigeria. So you being a gospel comedian, a very popular one, it would have made sense for you to go to church. And that's exactly what you did.
Yes, and I'm a drummer.
You're a drummer, I mean.
And so I was a worker.
Yes.
Anywhere I go, it's just part of the foundation I have. You must. For me, I'm used to serving, so I serve, and my service sometimes, or my service in this case, was misconstrued. Our service in church is to God. Am I correct? Yeah, but in this case, I think initially the first 2 years it was God I was serving. But as time went by, I don't understand where the guy got the idea. I mean, this is a guy I fed in Nigeria for years, a guy that I nurtured, a guy that I helped.
So who is the? I mean, I don't mean the name. What when you say the guy? What guy?
No, he's a pastor. One very interesting guy like that. I mean, when I'm talking about this because my wife was going to die, and you are telling people that God is the one punishing her.
As in a pastor, an associate pastor,
not
or the
not
pastor?
The
pastor of your pastor, your church.
That I adopted as an aburo while we were in Nigeria. Fed when he was going to which country. In those days, I gave him money. You understand? Usually, what your right hand does, your left hand should not know. That's what Jesus taught us. But when I got there in that church, I unlearned what I had learned from Jesus. Because this guy would tell people, I gave this one, I gave this one, I did this one, I did this one, I did this. So I was a little confused about the but I so they were telling people that my wife spoke at a meeting, and that's why God was punishing her. And I'm wondering, if we go to church, we should go to church and be fed spiritually, then we'll go back to the world as the salt of the earth and the light of the world. So we go recharge in church and go back to the world and do whatever we're supposed to do as children of God and of light, right? But in that, the first 2 years, everything was going well. But as time went by, I don't understand where this guy got the idea. When I come to your church, I come to your church voluntarily. You didn't bring me there. I was not on your payroll. I was not, So the question was, because it started changing, maybe he started making small money, then his attitude started changing. We weaponize the altar, use it to speak to people. When you ask him, am I the one you're talking to? He says, no, it's not you, but who deserves to be spoken to? I believe that if people come to your church, it's a privilege that they chose to come worship with you. So the next question is, am I worshiping God with you, or you want me to worship you with God? Do you understand? So some ideas were beginning to enter his head, and it was a very funny thing. But I told you once, I said, I have grace for long suffering. So I absorbed it like a sponge, because he was beginning to tell people that I was working for him and he was doing paper for us. And I don't understand why should you be that delusional? It didn't happen. It was never going to happen, because I told you that I'm a certified life coach. I did neuro-linguistic programming. So I'm an extrovert, and when I talk, I joke a lot. But people don't know that I'm doing their psychoanalysis. Yoruba people say mowa, oniwa, meaning you should know the person, understand their tendencies. So I knew that no, we will be citizens of this country, but not through you. Initially, I was going to accept, but later I said no. He wanted to do R1 for us, and I said no. So I gave him the runaround, because at my age, I knew what was coming. For my wife, I needed enough energy to fight that one. So he's I'm working for him, he's doing paper for us. So he's telling people in Nigeria, people go, wow, that's true. Say life, see how life can be. So the tables have been turned now. Me, I'm working for him. So my wife got that. She was not happy about it. But you see, all these things happened in such a way that when the sickness took over, we didn't have time to fight. So I'll just go to church, I'll play, and I'm a very good actor, my brother. In life, you have enough enemies. Why make more? I had enough that I was managing that time. So I wasn't going to open a new cubicle or compartment where I would be drawing energy for battle. So I will hear, but I just had to let it go. Very funny. It's unfortunate that, and I'm not saying this to say that church is bad. I'm a church boy. I'm a product of the church. I love church. I love God, and I know God is real. Do you understand? But from the little things that I saw, it wasn't even in Nigeria. I was a drummer in the biggest church. Bishop never did me anyhow. Then I come here. You that have fed before. Then you start indirectly. Then you start telling people, oh, they are doing this, and they used to have money before this. And I'm wondering, if you come to a new economy, America, if you didn't come with capital from Nigeria, brother, America will help you. Bring your shoulders down. You start again. And you should know me. I love to do things legally. To cut corners, because I know those who cut corners get caught. It's a matter of time. You must get caught. So I was waiting, and we strategized, and he was always sending people. So how are you going to do your paper? Who will give you this one? How will you do it? One of my mentors came the other time. My mentor's wife came. And in her presence was saying, that your paper that I want to do, and this, that. Let's do it now. My brother is here. Don't let him get green card before you. It will be bad. I'm wondering, that's not what I came for. I know what I came for. So we had our agenda. Whatever we were doing without notifying him. My fingers have been burnt too many times out of excitement. Now, because of the poverty or whatever background that I had, it was an artificial one. because of my dad's whatever that I did. You know, but the good thing is he sent me to school and I appreciated it. I still appreciate it. You know, but because of that, I'm mixing things up together now. But I mean,
okay. Again, I understand that. So the strange thing is that, look, this is not the first time I'm hearing this type of church stories. I hear that, and the version I hear usually is that an artist was promised they should come from Nigeria. When they come, the church will file, and over and over and over again, then you find that, you know, it doesn't happen. You know, I'm not saying it happens in every case, but I've heard too many stories all of a sudden. So this is rather, so even when you're not looking to the church to file for you, you still have these issues that crop up in the place. So I mean, so this was what happened. Your wife had this problem, and the man of the house, the set man, said that it was because she spoke at some place. That was why God is now
God was
punishing her.
Was punishing her. So at some point too, you know, because she stopped going to church. She could not make it, and she was in nursing school.
Okay.
She was in nursing school. It was the last semester. We were paying international student school fees, so we had to work extra. She was doing nursing. It was immersive. And you know the volume of work they give them here. If you like, be a professor from Nigeria. It's null and void. You start all over here. You must conform. You must do everything to their standard. You know how it is in America. You know, so all of that was going on. And, you know, I was busy. Then after some time, church service just started increasing anyhow. You do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every beginning of month. You do specialized service on Saturday. You do Sunday. Then you do vigil. You do, When I went to the embassy, I didn't say, sir, I need visa to go and do church. No. If you spend most of your creative time in church, then your destiny would have been wasted, because God did not create us to serve in church. And what I wanted to say the other time, I forgot, is that I love church and there are wonderful pastors. You said you saw me, you were a member of Daystar then. I went to see Reverend Sam. He's one of my mentors. You know, he's one of there are a lot of pastors, wonderful men of God. But there are some too that are very interesting. Brother, I am telling you, the church of God is a place where you should go, recharge, feel safe. Sometimes you go to church, what they say to you on the altar, if you are not careful, you go back and you are suicidal. And I'm not joking. I am telling you, and they are spreading your news everywhere. Look at them now. They've left. The covering has left them. They said, and I'm wondering, wow, it's just today. We know today, we don't know tomorrow. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. Nobody has immunity to the things, to natural disasters. Anything can happen to anybody. So I am not, I'm a very careful person, but this one, I chose that I'll talk about this one because I'm still a little surprised. And the thing is that once they called the church, when my wife survived it, when she survived the sickness, she was going to do her 40th birthday. So this guy, you know, she invited a few other people and all of that. She invited people from the church because we were there 5 years. Most of our friends were from the church. But she deliberately did not invite him. She was also strategic. I think she did it deliberately. You know, she didn't want to bring him. This guy insulted us indirectly on many fronts. You know, so he did a meeting, called everybody, this and that. Thank God for good friends. One of them called, and you know, the recording and everything that we have. If we were to go to court, we'll have that. Do you understand me? And he was saying we were this, we were that, we're this, we're that, we're this. But he didn't remember to tell them that we were feeding him in Nigeria. That before he got his green card, I took him somewhere where he went to pray according to him. And that was where he got the God's favor to get a visa. And he came here. And the reason why we came here was, okay, if we did good for you, we just came here to hibernate. We're not asking you for any. I was a drummer there now. They pay drummers in America now. Everything is money in America. I was not paid. and I did not discuss it. I was serving God in my own way, but you go around tell people this. Anyway, that one came, and I mean, so when the birthday came, she said she was inviting people. The guy did a meeting, said if he sees any of them at the birthday, if he sees any of them there, that they will be excommunicated, they'll be seen as traitors. Guess what? 98% of them did not show up. Thank God. I told you that we went to the midst of white people. Those white people are our neighbors, because we used our back, the yard at the back of our house. We had about 80 people. 60 something were our neighbors, Oyibo people. The few that came, I mean, it came and it went, and there was a time she said something, I've forgotten the discussion. He wrote in a text, he said, fall in line, you'll be seeing me for long. You see me in a long time, for a long time. Something and I'm wondering, church, when the church become where you tie people, where you humiliate people, you start displaying tyranny. I mean, when someone tells you that Jesus appeared to him and called his name and said Jesus fasts. Jesus told him that Jesus fasts twice a week and pays tithes monthly. So my question is, to who? Which currency? Jesus is a spirit. Fast unto who? That's when I started saying, he be like, lunacy, don't they enter this thing? I just said, wow. I mean, I just kept regretting. I wish I no entered that. I would have done better with my life. But I mean, it's good to learn such things so that you can teach other people. You teach them, watch out for XYZ things, so that people don't tie you down when you start brainwashing people. And some people, you hear things like, after the person was talking to me, the Lord told me he's lying. I'm wondering, are you serious? When my wife was sick, you didn't know. Now me tell you some things where you can't turn to prophecy. So all those opening a bakery where the church can use bread to absorb church members stew. No. I stopped the subscription. I stopped it, and I do not want people to stop serving God. As a matter of fact, I want more people to serve God. Just look out for the following. When someone starts telling you that he's the only one God speaks to, and you do not have, or you are not eligible to hear from God, those are pointers, those are red flags.
So at this point in time, I mean, you've spoken about this guy for long, and ordinarily, I wouldn't ask you, but you keep talking about this guy, this guy. So I must put you either mention his name now or we move on.
No, I won't.
No, so let's.
No, he. I mean, I wish I didn't spend this much time, but it's the truth. What makes a genuine podcast is for whoever is invited.
Don't worry, I was just messing.
To be willing.
I just wanted to.
No. I don't think.
I wanted to pitch you for a minute.
He doesn't deserve that publicity. I've prayed for him. I pray that God helps him, because you see, there is something karma does, whether you like it or not. Karma waits patiently. Sometimes, if you're fortunate, karma catches up with you early enough. Sometimes karma waits for you when you least expect. And karma does not negotiate. Karma only executes. Karma shows up. Why? Because karma understands.
that thing you said. Do you know how to say it in Yoruba?
Karma.
Because that thing you've said, there's an expression for it in Yoruba language. In fact, it was made very popular in a song by evangelist Niyi Adedokun. This is how you said karma does not negotiate.
It doesn't.
Karma executes.
Yeah.
You don't know when to come. It catches up. So evangelist Niyi Adedokun sang it in a song. Ẹ̀san kò gbógun, ẹ̀san ake. That's exactly what that means. That it will happen. Okay, so you look.
We left the place.
You left that place. Was that what made you move from Dallas to? Because you left the entire city.
We
and
left
you moved
Texas,
to another
not
city.
just
Yes.
Dallas. Yeah, we left.
You left the state. You went to another.
We left because I don't want wahala. My children are there. They need me. My last
But
one
you know,
is 13.
this corroborates what you hear. Look, did you not hear this when you got here? When you got here, did not more than one person tell you, don't hang around Nigerians?
Before I came here, I heard.
You heard so.
But I love Nigeria.
Yeah, so you think so?
I love my people.
So when you hear that, you think the people who are telling you are just being unnecessarily elitist or misguided or disillusioned.
Yeah.
But then over and over and over again, you hear stories.
You know, I said
like
something.
This.
I said something earlier. I said, if something doesn't, or let me put it this way, that something hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's when you experience it, you now embrace the reality of its existence. Do you understand? So when this thing happened, it was like a very bad dream initially. You know, I heard a lot of things. My ears were full. People from Nigeria, even here, people where our former church, you know, people they will come to the church. Sometimes I never cut my hair, you know, because we have to meet up, school fees and all those things and everything.
Yeah, and that was tough. Yes, let's go to that. So, because it was tough for you. You told me a story. You said you'll be driving by McDonald's,
right? And
you wouldn't want your kid, your last born, to
last born at some point he would, because you won't just go and get a small burger. And once you buy for him, you buy for everybody, and that's our tradition. We don't pick one out. We love our children equally. There's no favorite child. You know, but the guy didn't send. You pass like, and you know the guy, I know they like small burger, those heavy ones, those in and out and all those. So sometimes we drive like that. So when we're going to drive towards that place, please do not look right. Brother will rightly start looking right, and he'll be pointing because he was still young at the time. He's 13 now. That's our last born, and the guy, I know they send us. You know, they send us not because we could not afford it like that, but you have to be strategic. I came here, my expectations were high. You know, people had promised me that you'll be very busy, you'll be traveling a lot. Your MC they told my wife, they said, are you going to release this man? He's going to be traveling a lot. So me too, I came with that. And I thought I was humble. I didn't know that my spirit, not my spirit, there was a pseudo being that was helping me do my that was helping me raise my shoulders, thinking that, oh, I was going to be very busy. I got here, I started calling them one by one. Everybody started entering voicemail. They will not return the call. And I was wondering, what's this? You know, I didn't know, I didn't expect it. So the resources we had to manage properly, so as not to, so instead of the luxury of buying burger every time, because that boy was going to be addicted to it, you use it to buy other things to serve the family. And my wife was a student. I was going, so when I was still going and coming, there was money. I used to send money every time. But a time came when I did something with a governor in Lagos State. Did I mention? Please edit that part. Edit that part.
You said, look, there have been several governors in Lagos. You said a governor in Lagos. It could be any one of several governors.
One of them.
One of them.
I told me, he said, what can we do together? I quote, what can we do together? With excitement. I can do this, I can do that. I'm a certified life coach. I can get you young entrepreneurs. We'll cut them young from school. It was big. It was big. It was going to cost us XYZ billion, you know? So I was going Lagos, Dallas, Dallas, my resources, money, and all of that, you know? After some time, when we had reached the level where the project could be executed, I didn't hear anything again. I didn't have access anymore. His Excellency did as if he didn't know me anymore. And that was the end of it. So that frustration for me was a last straw that broke the camel's back. I said, okay, what is there to wait for in Nigeria? The events would come, you know. I was still doing events, but, you know, going and coming. Then Uncle T took over and they started sending husbands back, and I didn't want wahala. So I just
that being Donald Trump.
Okay. you said it, not me. So I just stayed back because what was it? And I put in too much. I've been a comedian. This year makes it 24 years. I've seen people. I've met 10 presidents. I've done events for presidents, for governors, for oil and gas company, every sector. I've done all those things. But when I was living in Nigeria, I was looking at it. Are you sure I can afford to leave this thing? Uncle Livia Jonoma of blessed memory was the man who changed my life. Number one, he taught me how to be a professional MC. Number two, he became an NNPC spokesperson. If you remember, he would just call me to Abuja anyhow. My life changed. And most of those events, you don't see them on TV. But people will be wondering, what thing they happen? One of our mutual friends, they was saying that, Naulia. People thought, I'm not a proud person. I try my best. I know where God picked me from. Do you understand? So the man, Abuja. Some even thought I was lying that I had events, and I would tell him, I gave this guy events worth 1.3 million in 2009, December alone. I deliberately calculated it because I was seeing some tendencies, but I still did it. But later he went back. He was angry. You chop my pepper, you chop my this thing. So when I was leaving Nigeria, should I leave this thing? And I did something with Uncle Livy. I did about 30 trips to Abuja. We ate fufu together at Ogbono, NNPC Tower, on Friday. On Sunday, his plane crashed. On Monday, we were supposed to sit down to agree on how much I will be paid. A part of me died. A part of me crashed with that Kenny. So okay, after some time, the other person now said we should do this. I can do this, with you as a governor, and they edited that one too, so I just looked at it. Okay, so maybe I should move to, but I used the word reluctantly well enough for people to understand that I didn't plan that I would become to be a resident of America. Yes. Yeah,
but what now invariably happened was that that happened, life happened. Right. And I know a bit of that because as you know, and as I've shared on occasion, it was also circumstances that also forced me to stay longer.
Right.
In my own case, the circumstance that locked the world in one place, that being COVID.
COVID, yeah.
So locked me in one place. So whether it's COVID, whether it's family, whether it's for one reason, I found that usually when you find that people who are on top of their game,
right,
in our country usually leave and they come and say, you find that a lot of times they tell you that they never intended to, something always happens. And the unintended effect of that is that you lose your career for a while, usually an extended period.
So it seems.
Of time. Yeah. So that's what it seems. You lose your career for a while.
Relevance, voice.
Presence. If I can't talk to that, who can speak to that? It seems you lose your career for a while. The unfortunate fallout of that is you hear all these stories. They don't tell you directly, but you see it in people's attitudes. Yeah. You see it in their characters. You see it in the questions they ask you.
So see him again. Do you still do comedy?
Yeah.
Do you still do MC? No.
So what do you do now?
MC. I fry puff puff.
So what do you do now?
I fry puff puff at the airport. That's what I do.
Attitude. and look, I know what it did to me. I know what that did to me because here I am. I find myself down this path that I never intended to take.
Initially.
So here I am and I am stuck. Right. Can you imagine how crazy I was going during COVID?
I know how crazy.
I was stuck.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
In my own case, I'd even stayed.
Yeah.
That was when my wife.
Yeah. So
and we didn't have access to no hospital appointments because COVID wouldn't let us have access until 6 months after it was detected.
So there you are also, you couldn't. So I like to think of it in Yoruba. That's how I used to think of it. Iwaju ose lo. I don't seem to be progressing.
Right.
And I can't return to go and do what I used to.
It's one of the greatest frustration.
How did you survive? That's what I wanted to ask you.
I don't know. I don't know how I survived it. So, because because of that, I would do my whatever I was doing, and I like to do things legally. I would do whatever I had to do. Then I was also serving in church, and I was always being available. And I don't know how I survived it. But what I know is that when it comes to time for you to pay rent, to pay bills, to pay all those things, grace does not cover it in America. Grace does not. If you like, become an angel and go and look your landlady or landlord in the eyes. You will pay. If not, so I'm a responsible man. I'm a family-oriented person. So family comes first. So whatever I have to do legally, a few people whose names I won't mention, they were sent to us like angels. 1, 2, I am telling you. And but how I survived it, I don't know. Here I was doing all of that, but also serving in church. They made me this one, made me choir director, made me this, and I did everything with the whole of my life. I love God. If not that I know and I've experienced Jesus, experienced the existence of God by myself, I would have stopped Christianity.
Based on
my experience. Just 5 years. Okay, no. First year, second year, everything was okay. Third year, then that COVID, I don't know what happened. The guy just changed. Talk to people anyhow. Talk to you anyhow. You pass sometimes, you look you up and down like this.
Okay, don't let us go back to this guy.
No, I'm just saying. So you know what helped me?
Yeah.
After we left that place, we changed the environment because we had an option to stay in Dallas.
Yeah.
To stay in Texas, New York, or go to Chicago. I mean, I love cold places.
Yeah, you chose the refrigerator.
I just said, you
chose the refrigerator of life.
To go and
fridge of life.
Preserve our destinies.
Yes.
So we moved. Then after we left, 2 years, we did not go to any church. I called my children because all of them don't get sense by that time. Yeah, I told you the last born is 13. Our oldest is 18. We will be 18, sorry. And I told them we're doing a church detox. So we stopped. We didn't go to any church.
What's a church detox?
Church detox. I didn't know until we did it. Church detox. We freed ourselves. When subliminally you are held captive by words, brainwashing and all of it. If you don't do this, you don't. If all I come to do is live in church, then what did God create me for? The essence of your existence must be clearly understood and appreciated by who? You first. So that you know if someone is selling you fake or if someone's trying to shortchange you. Then with all that I know, brother, I'm an NLP practitioner. I'm a certified life coach. I am certified to teach people. I started it back in Nigeria. I would go to secondary schools and all of that and all those things. Then I come here. Then you want to use, all these techniques that I already understood. I can't look, say, what can bring this, Okay. But we had already keyed ourselves into Dallas. So I just played along. I played along. And the best way to survive such people, narcissists, when people use 48 laws of power to try to subdue you. 48 laws of power, chapter by chapter, I teach, I've taught, we've discussed it before. You won't come use them for me. I just smiled. One of the best things you can do in life is to have the ability to act like a possum, act like you're dead. It was what I told my father. If he had listened to me, I was a teenager when I told him. Long time ago. My mom says, Agbalagba teach me. I say, act as if there's no more money, Baba. You will know who is real and who is not. He tried it small, a few left, but he went back. So that was what I did. Every time I would act like a fool, act like I didn't have sense. Then the real character came out. No. So we left. We did church detox, and I told my children, I said, XYZ, I think you should look out for. Don't go anywhere where you'll be tied or where people will talk to you anyhow. It was very, very bad. So eventually we got our church, the new church we attend. I won't mention our church, but it's there's diversity. We have Hispanics, we have Indians, we have African Americans, we have Caucasian Americans.
That's what almost always happens. Now people go to our church, our church shows them pepper, and then eventually
so now
they go to a multi-denominational.
No, we have other churches that are Nigerian churches that are very good, but it's either they are far away from us or they are in other states. But because of the trauma, I said for now, I'm an aboki. When I take decisions, meaning that once I see, I can absorb a lot of things, but the day I say no, it's a no. I try my best to be very humble. No.
Okay.
No. So we left that. We started a new church and we have a new life. And things are a lot. I mean, we are back where we are supposed to be. But you see, you are not due for promotion until you have paid your dues. I believe that we paid our dues. We saw life from a different perspective. You don't go anywhere. Every organization or anywhere you find yourself, don't just go and start flaunting your strength and all of that. You see all these survival shows, the strongest guys with muscles, they're the ones they eliminate first, because you are showing everybody. You become an easy target. Go there, act like a fool.
Yes. So what do you think you learned? Because that's the essence of going through the wilderness,
right,
and going through the silence.
Yeah.
There are things that need to be ironed out of you,
right,
fired out of you, purified from within you, to allow you get to the next level, so to speak.
Right.
And so life takes you through that through that wilderness of pain. But here's the thing: when it is life, or when it is God, or when it is the universe training you, when it is not that you have gotten into it by your own stupidity, when it's not karma. So when it is life, when it's not karma,
when the process.
Yes, when it is karma, I mean, it doesn't have to make sense. Karma is karma.
Karma is karma.
Karma is karma. It doesn't have to make sense. But when it is process, you're going to know during it and after it what needed to leave you.
Right.
You're going to be able to identify that this was what I used to do. This needed to go. What did you identify that needed to go? What was your fault that needed to go?
I noticed that I was too nice. We had to drastically cut that down. Niceness. Now I was like an open book. I was nice to people. I was exceptionally generous. Starting from Nigeria, I still brought it here. We talk with people. This is how I take this. So I was too available. You see, there's a curse that comes with being too available in every aspect of life, be it relationships, whatever. If you are seen everywhere, your value drops. If you are too available, they will take advantage of you unduly. They will take advantage of you unduly. Do you understand? There were times when they would say they want to carry change and my name will be part of the list. Yeah, because I was too available. I heard one time, when we call you always pick your... So you know what I did? We waited a little bit. Am I petty? Yes, I think so. I'm very good at what I do sometimes if I choose to do it. So he calls, I don't pick. Text, I won't pick. I'll wait a long time because I've read that book. That's what you're using? No problem. Let me give you a taste of your medicine. Send emails, I will not. And the guy could not take it. Gradually, we just left that. We moved. I learned never to be too available. 2, if you do not invite me, now I understand it. If you do not invite me, I will not be there. If you invite me at my convenience, I will be available if I want to do it. I do things the way I want to do them. I don't believe in the homiletics they use to tie people down. Oh, God is me and God. After all, when we left church, we had our family, 1, 2, 3 children, wife and me, 5. We prayed and God answered. You understand? So all this using bread to pack our stew, no, not at all. Bread, not at all. Not at all.
That's exactly how I heard it in Yoruba.
Yes. So, I encourage people, if you love God, God is real. Everything is okay. But I also learned how to take my BB to church, my Bible and my brain. So don't come and tell me, okay, 500,000, come out here, come and tap, or come and partner. We got 500,000 here, 500,000 here. Can you go 500 here, 2,000 here? Can you go here? Then after, we are supposed to be the ones, because I used to do that every time, because God blessed me. God helped me. Tell you, I can't start giving figures here, but I know that God helped me from nothing. When I joined the comedy industry, nobody knew me now. And it's not as if people discouraged me. I couldn't be where most of you were. Because I was at Okoko. Before I enter to reach Ikeja VI, I used to be a shy person. So I know where God picked me from. But now, see me now, I came to LA. 2 days ago, I was at one dinner. So now I move. I do things, but on my terms. I'm a nice person. After that thing happened, I told God, I said, Lord, permit me to be a bad guy. Let me be a bad guy for a season at least. You call me, you say you're XYZ, or in advance, Matibaja, I'd have fought you first. But you can't change because a group of people you can't become a bad person because a group of people force you to be that. I'm very careful with my words because I know people will listen. There are good people, there are bad people. Good people or bad people make good people look better. It's a choice. You can choose to be a good person. But brother, I was surprised. I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked. That episode, what I saw, all that did not happen to me in Nigeria. I came here and So I had to call myself back. Say, you decrease. That's asking myself. Then when I answered, I said, I know decrease. So I took the steps that I took. And now my life is, whatever you want to do, anybody that wants to see anything, you can see anything. I'm doing my events. I'm emceeing weddings. I'm doing all those things. I'm back on social media. I told you that I was in hibernation.
Yes.
Hibernation will make you step back from all the activities, because in Nigeria, there were lots of activities. I was either at the airport, I'm traveling here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I had people taking care of my children. So my wife sometimes, and she had a business too. She was selling wedding gowns. Everything was But when we came here, I did a self evaluation. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? I opened myself up to a lot of people. I helped people I shouldn't have. There are people, I opened the door for them. They came in. I allowed them in, gave them events, introduced them to people. I stepped out before I came back. They closed the door against me. Took advantage of me. Took my clients and all those things. I also now I speak like a philosopher. I have this imaginary audience that I speak to, or I had that time, that I would say to people that it's only when you allow a bee come close to you that it can sting you. From a distance, bees are harmless. You can't have kept a scorpion for 10 years and expect that you had it domesticated, you've tamed it. No, it's in its DNA to sting you, irrespective of how well you have fed it. So I've understood that I operate with people from a distance. There are lines that you must not cross. I will not cross over, but I won't be stupid enough to allow you cross over. That way I manage people. I do people psychoanalysis, like I told you, behavioral patterns and all those things. I told you that I did Ericksonian hypnosis. With all those depths of knowledge, I still, the one thing that church, I'll just go and mumu myself. We have 24 services in a month and I'll attend all. I'm just saying. So where do I have time to be productive? When, the world is an ecosystem. Everybody has to contribute their own quota for the world to go on in a normal setting, Abi. But when some people cut you, when funnel, there's a funnel, then you work. Another thing that I learned, you join workforce, you are forced to work. So I told them, when we move to this new church, I don't want to hear any workforce. I have worked for all my children's children. I have done the pong where I don't carry, where I don't feel sand for my first church. It's still there. And I'm sure God saw it. We will do it because of the love of God. I love God till today. I will, but I continue loving God. But you see, my brain, it goes with me to church now. I don't lose it. I don't keep it anywhere. I go with my brain and my Bible, and I do whatever I need to. I mean, I just came out. I'm on social media, but I'm sorry. I'm on social media again. I used to hide before, but I'm good. I'm good. But it was also a privilege to have learned what I learned early. There were times we heard, where then they know they hear him again. They don't see him again. But hibernation is good. Just step back, think about your life. Do your self-appraisal. Have I done well? If I were to be given another opportunity, what would I do differently? Things like that. And I thank God. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Maybe. Okay. Good. So you rounding this up now, I want us to talk about the transition in America a bit, because part of the jokes that you cracked tonight, and you told me they were your real experiences. In your words, you did so much DoorDash.
At some point,
at some point that your children will never.
It's not possible. That one is not. It's not even possible. Okay, there are things that.
That was the joke, yeah. So you did all of that. I find that seems to be everybody's experience on some level. So not everybody does DoorDash, right? Mm-hmm. But I have a theory that you can't make this transition, no matter who you are, without going through some sort of discomfiture or some sort of pain.
Discomfort.
Some sort of discomfort. So there are people now who are looking at making this move. And the amazing thing is that when you're making it, all you see is the promise. Right. You are never shown the process. So we're telling them now to get ready for the process. But I just want to ask, are we just thinking that's going to happen to everybody? Are we going to see people who are going to be exceptions to the rule, who are going to come and it's just going to work out for them?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are exceptional cases. You want to relocate to a new economy, a part of the Western world, America, Canada, and all. Cash is king everywhere. Invest. And before I was doing business I was doing business in Atlanta, Georgia. I would buy musical equipment and ship them to Nigeria. I was giving like 45% discount. So I would still do well with my profit and all of that. Yeah. So I had a driver. The guy told me, buy a gas station, buy this, and that time if we had paid attention, we would have been able to do that. But because we were comfortable, I didn't think I would move here. Another thing, I think if you do not have that capital, I think you should ask enough questions. Look for people who will be genuine, that are reliable. They will tell you things you would expect so that your expectations are not too high. So when you come here, when you're going through the process, you'll appreciate it, but you always see light at the end of the tunnel. In my own case, there was no tunnel, so I didn't know whether there was light at the end of it. But my survival instincts just kicked in, and I had to take care of my family. That was that was the most important thing. I was still making money in Nigeria. There was this Kinika I was doing, so they would pay me in Naira, but this is dollar, and then the Naira started depreciating. So that was when I felt it the most. Then when you move to a foreign country, two keywords: adoption and adaptation. If you do not have that, you will suffer. You will be like me. I was hard-headed. I didn't believe that me, Holy Mallam, do this one. I was living in denial. Why should I go and deliver? For what? The past is the past. Always embrace the present. Okay, this is the situation. Embrace the reality. Don't keep referring to the past successes, and you just look at the pictures of the presidents, of the governors, or all those people. Looking at them will not translate into money. It is past, for the archives. Am I correct? So embrace. There's a book, The Power of Now, authored by Eckhart Tolle. He said, when you think too much about the past, it gives you regrets, it brings anguish, anger. And when you look too much, when you ponder too much, you pay too much attention to the future, it gives you fear, uncertainty, and all those things. The now is what you should focus on. For me, at some point, I had to snap out of that rubbish, put on my big boy pants, I smelled the coffee, and I worked with what I had. And I had to sacrifice because I know that I have a family and I brought them here and I'm responsible for them. So for me, you're coming here, just be prepared. Psychologically, make yourself available. Be present. Psychologically, prepare yourself so that when it comes, you don't have a meltdown. Some people actually went back. So the people
why didn't you go back, by the way?
Go back, okay? No, now. We had gone too far. My wife had registered the children, their school. A lot of things you do because of children. The children were already here. Their intonation had changed. They were doing exceptionally well here. They were even thanking us for raising them the way we did. And we didn't do anything special. We just know that we raised our children the way they should be raised. And, their interests, and one was already playing basketball, one was, and they are doing well. So those were things I looked at. At some point, there was a one midnight like this. It was a one small quarrel I had with my wife. It wasn't anything major, but I made a meal out of it. It was an opportunity for all of us to go back. I said, bring our passport. Everybody's going back. Everybody's going back. I was transferring, I was throwing tantrums and all of that. Later, when my head had cooled down, she told me, she said she knew that I was mad. I was crazy. Weary. That was what she said. She's Igbo, but she used the word weary. So in hindsight, I'm happy that I didn't make that decision. I could have. We would have had regrets forever. Yeah, people reach out from back home. My people. So at some point I ran away from Facebook. I took my face. I left the book there. But we thank God for where we are. We thank God for. I will call it a second chance, but they had written us off. One of the worst things that can happen to you is to hear from those you helped raise up. You raised them up, and the only way they can say thank you is to start spreading news that you are not doing well. He's not doing. He's serving me now. No, I'm not serving any human being. Nobody did any paper for me. So what I started doing too. Anyone who says, "Oh, he said you were serving him," no, I didn't. This was he wanted to. I gave him a runaround. He was frustrated. And at the end of the day, we went with what was safe for us, for my sanity and my children's, That's it. And that's case closed. But do I regret going that? Yeah. There are people you meet in life that will help you accelerate time. And there are people who will help you slow it down. There are people you should meet and there are people you shouldn't meet. Not everybody should be adopted. So I adopted people. I helped people. I sharpened their teeth. They gave me megabytes.
Okay. Again, we go to those Yoruba things. I want to to forgive waje. There's another side. If you're going to say things like that, you have to say all of it because it's in two parts. Did you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I want to forgive waje. You don't know the second part.
No, I'm mixed too.
So,
I'm Yoruba.
So my mother is from so if you won't say all of it, stop saying the half of it.
Okay.
There's a second part of it that you cannot say.
Which one is that?
It's PG. It's not sanguine. You cannot say it on air.
Oh, right. Okay.
Orlando was sang it in a song.
Right.
I want to belly to forgive waje. I want to
okay. So
I will tell you after. But it's I think it's better in English. Okay, I can say it in English.
Okay.
In English, it doesn't sound as crass.
Okay.
It's in our language that it sounds crass.
Okay.
It's like those whom we circumcise, who have now chosen to try to lay with our wives.
Right.
So you can translate it to Yoruba if you
right.
I feel like so it comes crass in.
Well, you know I run away from such things.
So see, brother, look, I am glad that Madam, as we've spoken about, that your wife survived this this thing. I mean, we didn't call it the name, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's cancer.
Right.
We didn't call it that, but that's what it is. She survived.
She survived.
And you know, if I take nothing else away from this, is that you said that even in the darkest nights, even in the longest, deepest, darkest, most confusing, most harrowing nights, you were able to now look back during the time when she was dealing with that and know that, thank God we came. Thank God we made this move.
Yeah.
Whatever else we did it was because we're here that she's able to survive.
Right.
Survive this. So I mean, I think I'm happy for you. I'm appreciative of you. Most importantly for me though, it's that Holy Mallam is back.
Yes, sir.
Now I don't know how long it's going to take them to feel that in the world of social media that we live right now.
Right.
I'm hoping that some accelerated thing happens, but I saw you tonight perform at that show. And I told you when you came off stage that it was, you know when you see a comedian perform, and you know the Bible says something about out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. When you see a real comedian perform, the jokes come from passionately. Yeah, it comes from they're doing it effortlessly. It felt like you could have been on stage for another 2 hours if they hadn't pulled you off. So you're back. Yes. You're back. You served your time.
Yeah, so
you didn't intend to serve the time. You didn't know it was going to take this long, but this is life.
Yeah, so
you served the time.
Life happens.
We're back, and we're back and better.
Yeah, so
my brother.
And my social media, I mean, I'm back on social media.
Yeah.
I used to be away from social media. I'm back on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm back on Facebook. I'm back on X. Abby, which other one?
YZ. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Okay, thank you, my brother.